Hey friends, recently I had the opportunity to sit down with some of our female students to talk about their experience as a woman in jiu-jitsu, and I wanted to share part of that conversation with you in this video. If you want to see the whole conversation in its entirety, I'll include a link to another video in the description below. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy the chat. What advice do you have for a woman who's considering jiu-jitsu?
I guess I just usually would kind of go to the point of like where Megan kind of sat and was just like, hey, just give us a try a few times. Like just don't be scared. You cannot build confidence without action. And so like, if you're like sitting there and you're like, oh man, I'm just so scared of everything, or I'm like, I don't want to do this. The best thing that you can do is, and again, you've mentioned it, the hardest thing that you can do is just walk through that threshold. Understand that you're going to fail a lot and your body is going to be learning new things. You're not going to be strong at everything. I got to tell, I guess, another good piece of advice. Don't work out like everyone else. When everybody's working out, don't think that you can do that same workout. I don't care how fit you are. I don't care if you do CrossFit every day. I don't care if you swim every day. Do not try to do jiu-jitsu workouts or roll as hard as everyone else until your body is used to it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back to kind of what I mentioned before about having my boys be safe. And I think if not even for me, it's important for them. Or there was a time where I was in Walmart and there was some guy going off of this poor old lady at the cashier's stand. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm thinking of my jiu-jitsu and I'm like, okay, if I need to step in, then I'm going to step in. Just knowing that there's people that can't advocate for themselves. And especially after the pillars, like I feel like I've always kind of thought this, but like being the change in the world, like one I don't know, thing at a time, and having that empowering feeling it's worth it. So if there's somebody that's contemplating like, oh, I don't know, I mean, it can save you, it can save other people. It's definitely worth looking at. If nothing else, and like I don't know, I don't want to wear those pajamas or whatever might be the stopping factor, at least try a resistance class, or there's other ways to learn similar things. And I like to look at the two as like jiu-jitsu is where it's a cycle. Like you can engage, you can keep going, but then resistance, it's like, this is how you safely get away. And I think both are very valuable, but I think like you were saying, once you learn resistance, it's like, oh, this is actually okay. Like, I think I want to learn more. But being willing to apply yourself, I don't know if this really goes here, but I think it's like the only thing I've ever experienced in my life where it challenges your whole body. Like it challenges you physically, it challenges you mentally. It's like chess, and there's just so many different components, and you can't only do one without the other. Like I used to be really, really hard on myself, and it's changed dramatically. Just the ability to enjoy life. And it's like, if you want that growth, then you should just try it and stick it out.
I mean, just do it, and do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else. Don't go in there. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Don't try to be better than anyone. Don't, just do it for you. Mm-hmm. I had an experience. I bought a house, moved in, terrible experience with my neighbor, had my house broken into, awful. And that's when I really hit jiu-jitsu hard. And I can honestly say, I still get scared sometimes. I still get creeped out, but I can honestly say, I know, Becky's my neighbor. But I can honestly say, like, walking to my door now from my car, I feel so much better. I already have a plan in my head. You come at me from this angle, I'm doing this. You do this, I'm going to do this. And I feel so much safer now.
Some of the most talented and dangerous players I know are women. Tell us why you think that jiu-jitsu is a viable and realistic system of self-defense.
I'm 115 pounds, and I know that at least I can get away from a guy that's literally probably twice my size. I mean, at least get away.
I too have had to use jiu-jitsu before for self-defense purposes, and well, it works, so it's worth it. Do it. But also from the boxing standpoint, like I had some confidence with just some of my punches and strikes and kicks, or what have you, but ultimately we're a little weaker than men, and as much as I'd like to think I'm super strong and can knock someone's lights out, that's not always the case. So it was a different set of skills, and it's very much so the strongest part of our body against the weakest part of our opponents or attackers. And I mean, if you're a human, you're gonna be able to be choked, or have bones broken, or that sort of thing. So I think it's just, I don't know how to say it works other than it 100% does work. It doesn't matter who you are. It will be solid and something that you can use when you need it.
Yeah, one of those things you hope to never have to use, but you're so thankful you have it. Yeah, I mean, I've taken self-defense classes all through growing up, and it's not, jiu-jitsu isn't, strike their throat, do this, kick this. Like, in a real situation, I don't have any confidence in that. In jiu-jitsu, I have so much confidence. I have so much confidence, especially knowing and realizing that I am weak. I'm never going to overpower a grown man. Like just learning leverage and my own strength and my weaknesses and using that all together, that has been the best. In a self-defense point, if you're not able to overpower them, at least you're going to buy yourself time because you know what you're doing,
I think that people still seem to think, even after all these years, that like jiu-jitsu is like some kind of karate. Have you guys ever heard that? Yes,
We do karate, right?
That's some kind of karate.
Exactly. You guys are headed to karate, huh?
Yeah, or like some male dominated testosterone fest, because but jiu-jitsu was designed for the lesser player. It was designed for women and guys like me, aren't necessarily like massive and imposing, and it was designed for us through principles like leverage and positional control. And if you could choose, what impression would you want women to have about jiu-jitsu?
I don't know, just that you can do it. You'd be so surprised what your body can do and what you're capable of. Like people look in that room sometimes and it's just like, holy moly, how are you doing that? You go in there, you can surprise yourself. And I think, just having the confidence and knowing that your body can really do that.
It's really cool to see someone who's new to the sport try something that looks really intimidating, but they're like, I want to do that again. Like, I mean, it's really cool to see that aha moment. And it's such a good thing. Just do it. Like, if anything, you should get a good impression of it and know that it's worth it. It's so worth it.
I'd really want somebody to just have the impression that that it's a family. It's a sisterhood, a brotherhood. It's a safe place, but it's also the biggest confidence builder that you're ever going to come across. One of my favorite things that you say all the time too is that the mats are like a mirror, right? And also pointing to what Becky had said, yes, the mats are a mirror, but you get to watch yourself grow in that mirror. You get to watch yourself develop in that mirror.
It's not just being in there watching yourself grow. It's watching yourself grow in literally every other aspect of your life. It's like when I was hard on myself in jiu-jitsu, it transferred to me noticing I am not nice to myself. It's life-changing to see that when you start changing on the mats, you also start changing in life, and it's reflective, and it's just so crazy to see. And those pillars that you have to have in jiu-jitsu, you have to have it out of jiu-jitsu, and then you start to develop yourself to be a whole new person.
You're definitely just happier. You start to live your life that way, and you're way happier.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming together and making time for this. I really appreciate hearing your thoughts. And like I said, it just points back to the bigness of it. I think it's so much bigger than any single individual or any single academy. If you want to hear the rest of this conversation, make sure to click that link in the description below. As always, thanks for watching. Happy training, and I'll see you on the mats.